Another caution out there for cryptocurrency as the pump has now begun. Let's take a look at that in today's video and update where Bitcoin currently sits, what we can expect over the next couple of days, and of course, taking profits, how we can do that successfully and avoid that FOMO if the market continues to pump even further. Make sure you've subscribed. 3 out of 10 still not subscribed, but you're doing extremely well, so thank you very much. And of course, like up the video. If you're loving the background here, smash that like. Otherwise, you can always smash the like anyway. Okay, so the caution Bitcoin buyers is up there in the title somewhere. We're having fun here in the bear market, and the cryptocurrency pump, I think, has fooled everyone in the last 24 hours. This is exactly what we've been looking at on the channel, the old as expected. But it's nothing that you couldn't have picked out yourself, and you guys are actually starting to see it now on the charts with the support and resistance zones, and then when the extreme greed comes into the market. You see it time and time again. That was yesterday's candle, whereas I like to look at bars. You can see the market just really push up, break past the resistance levels. Now we're sitting at that battle zone, which we knew was going to occur based on the market structure back in June. So this was the area that the market tanked to. It dumped in from that May top and then came all the way down to about $20,071. I remember going live on the channel as well during this period, and that final push on the 18th into that low that took us underneath the old all-time high when everyone said it wasn't possible. Of course, in cryptocurrency, everything is possible. All right, so we're back in this zone, and we specifically looked at, in yesterday's video, that the market would look to tackle this zone. So I've put it here as the battle zone. So this is what I'm expecting over the next couple of days. There's always the ifs, buts, and thens, because we're just trying to assess probability for our trades and stay on the right side of the market as long as possible. And so if we see something happen, it's like you're out in the wild, and if you see something not go so right, you know, the old primal days, you're then going to take action and protect yourself. If you see things are going okay, well, you're going to go further towards that hunt and take down that prey. If you're a vegan, choose some other sort of analogy. But in this case, we're just trying to stay on the right side of the market as long as possible. That's what trading is about. I know people think it's some sort of tea leaf, astrology, for men, TA sort of thing, but you're just basically here to protect yourself. That's it. Okay, so currently we are 10 hours from today's close as I'm filming this. Yesterday's close was high. It was the highest in 5 weeks. I just popped that up on Twitter. So if you're not following on Twitter, go and follow me. Links are in the description for Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to do a house tour of this place so you can check it out here in Sorrento over on Instagram. But even if you don't care to follow those other socials day to day, just at least you have the real official social so that you're not getting scammed out there. Avoid all the other accounts. That is my only one account for Twitter and Instagram. Now that that rant is over, the targets we're looking for is $24,600 based on our GAN 50% level from the current cycle low. As I said, current cycle low. There could be a further low, and then it goes up to that top before we got the rejection and the dump. So we looked at this rejection here. We got that dump, and at the time, again, based back in those videos, I didn't think this one would dump us 40 or so percent like we've seen on the last 3 times that we got rejected after these sideways accumulation periods that look like bear flags. So a lot of people were calling for bigger downside targets of $10,000 or $8,000 on Bitcoin, but we have managed to get out of that because we held up higher lows. We got good volume come in on the 13th of July that pushed us up to tackle that zone of 21,700 again. So that 21,700 is still in play. We are holding in this battle zone before the market broke down to that final low. That's why we're here. Whatever the news says, they can say. The news doesn't know. The news is there. They'll tell you stuff after the fact. But right now, this battle zone is going on because the buyers and the sellers are really just testing out who's still here after this zone, this 13th of June through to the 16th of June. So if you see it on candles, you can see we had a dump to that level, another test on the 14th, so the market fell but then came back and closed within that zone. The following day, it dumped even further but came back and closed within that zone, and then finally it gave way. So we've basically been under that level and now attempting to break back above this. So what I'm expecting over the next couple of days, if we are to break out of this zone, is the target of 24,600 based on the 50% level, because there's really not much between this high. You can see where we're closing now. We're closing at the upper end of the wicks here. So we've basically stair-stepped our way out of it. This looks like a really nice pattern at the moment. And we needed to take some time to rest, but you know, that top of the market there is 22,500. So that's where the market is really testing, which is the top of this zone. It's coming back and testing the 21.7. It's just trying to climb its way out of this. The breakout from this zone, 22.5 to 23, I think will probably race reasonably quickly to around the 24, 24.5. That's what we want to see for continuation of the crypto pump. And we're going to get to those cryptos in terms of the strong and the weak, just looking at what the results have been over the last couple of days. So the short term, strong versus the weak cryptos. I look at this because there are going to be cryptos which are going to gain a lot more, and there are going to be cryptos which gain a lot less. And not everyone has an infinite amount of capital to trade markets with. So if you find yourself with a limited amount of capital, which I assume 99.99% of people do, then you're going to want to be able to understand how to identify stronger crypto versus weaker crypto. Basically just stronger assets versus weaker assets. And you can use this across stocks, cryptos, anything with a chart, anything with a chart. Think about that. You basically have to learn one thing, learn it really, really, really well, and then you can use this information universally across any asset with a chart. That's what got me into TA, and that's what's helped me through these last 12 or so years I've been doing TA for. If you do want to learn more, check out the links in the description. There's a free newsletter down there that we go through on a fortnightly basis, and that looks at Bitcoin, real estate, and of course cryptocurrencies as well. It's basically everything that I'm invested in, and also my brother Michael is invested in. He also has a channel here, fantastic TA on his channel as well. So the link to that, top of the video description, awesome newsletter coming out so that you can learn more about TA, and if you want to go further with it, of course we've got members and the courses and things like that. But you know, one step at a time, start with your free stuff and enjoy the ride. So that's the battle zone, that's what we're looking at here. I think there could be a quick move up. How did everyone get fooled? Well, that's what I'm looking at in terms of the cryptocurrencies themselves. So before we get to each of those individual cryptocurrencies, taking a look at the total cryptocurrency market cap, we're getting towards target one. I think we've just tipped target one. That was at nearly $400 billion. So that's a good sign for now. I think we've got a little bit further to run. 460, $480 billion, that's the next target for all of the market caps. Basically, we just want to see the health in the total cryptocurrencies to ensure that our positions for crypto are going to keep moving. This is essentially just how I'm personally reading the market to understand where the bulls are going and where the bears are going, like who is taking control at this point. Because this is essentially for me the news. If I can read this, and I'm reading the news before the news comes out. So next level, that's where we're looking at. That's at number 3. So up a little further, we're looking towards 580 billion. So if we can overcome this zone, nice quick move up there. If the market rejects at around that 460, 480, I'd probably say that a lot of the cryptos are about to come down, or at least come back for a resistance check and then potentially move again, which is what I think we might be coming up to right now. And I think some people have just been fooled in the last 24 hours because of that greed that just got sucked into the market with the new retail getting in, or trying to get in, and then sort of missing that boat. Now, we're not there yet, but that's the one thing I look at. We move, okay, going back to the market caps, we move past this area, then I think it could be a quick little swift move up to 580 billion, and that's gonna tell me, all right, there's probably still more room to run in the altcoins, but I'm always being very skeptical about the amount of the run that's possible for cryptos, especially in a bear market, especially in a potential accumulation zone, which I think over the coming months, people love to skew words here, but I think over the coming months for cryptos, not obviously Bitcoin, then we'll probably see a little bit of a flattening out. We've got days potentially with this next move, but eventually I think I'll start to flatten out again. That could take a little while, but right now things are good. I'm not going to get all depressive because things are going all right. As for ETH, 2 days, we're up 22%. This is what I want to look at across the board of our strong versus our weak and how we were able to do it. We did look at it in some more detail in yesterday's video, but just doing a recap here, which is what I've done in my analysis this afternoon, just going back and having a look at the 2-day results just to see whether this continues to work, this strategy continues to work, and we'll just have a quick look at those cryptos. But of course, I need to mention Bybit. If you don't have another exchange, or you're looking to set up a second exchange to protect your privacy, check out Bybit. There is obviously sign-up bonuses. Sign up $3,000 using the website bonus, or if you use my link in the top of the video description, $4,450 of sign-up bonuses. There's also the World Series of Trading going on. So our team over there is called Crypto Hobos. You can find a link to that as well in the video description if you want to join the trading. Of course, have a plan. Make sure that you know how to use stops and you're a little more experienced if you're going to use leverage, of course, because a lot of people can get wiped out. But as you can see, it is reasonably straightforward, provided you have a plan and that you can see how these markets work out in terms of strong versus weaker style of markets. So Ethereum, 22% up in the last couple of days. The thing we want to do here with our weak versus strong crypto is try to beat Bitcoin and beat it by a decent amount, because we are taking a lot more risk by buying cryptocurrencies than buying Bitcoin. We just saw that Bitcoin went up 10 or so percent in the last couple of days. Now I'm using this because that was the breakout area to the peak, 10.6%. If we traded ETH instead, there's 22%. Of course, if you're using leverage, you're using 2x, 5x, 10x, it's going to be more. So you're going to have to adjust that to whatever it is that you're trading. But this is the news, is what's happening right now. But then we'll have a look at a slightly more macro play. Okay, so ETH, 22%. Okay, is that worth it for us? An extra 12% of Bitcoin? Your call. I'd say anything over about that 20%, I'm pretty comfortable with. Solana, 23.6% in the last 2 days. So that's been a good trade compared to Bitcoin. And you can see how it held above its 50% level, higher lows, and broke out. That's a strong signal there. Held above, this is the smaller range, 50%, held above the 50. It started to get a leg on before everything else and had a really solid move, whereas Solana held up here and then moved, okay? Matic, obviously, absolutely crushing it, held up above its 50% level and then crushed the game, 31.5%. AVAX, one I didn't mention yesterday, but there was a few comments on it, 23%. So again, it's still worthwhile. It's broken above. It eventually held above its 50% level, but put in higher lows. So there's some strength there for short-term trades. I have to keep emphasizing that because I'm right now not interested in dollar cost averaging just yet. I think overall these markets will come down. That's my more macro look at everything. I think cryptos will still have to come back and test some lows, but this could go a little bit longer than most people are expecting and then sucker a lot of people in, and people get fooled by buying the tops again and the market goes down and the whole cycle repeats. Phantom, I didn't look at this yesterday, but 34%. Held on its 50% level. It did have a lower low, but you can see as the market started to climb, this candle right here held on top of the 50% and then it took off. 2 days there, broke the top, 34%. Now to the weak ones, and you can start to see a different pattern here. This is the zone that I'm measuring from. Lower lows, lower highs. It has broken, well, it only just broke, but the percentage gain is shite compared to the rest of those cryptocurrencies. Just 14%, barely more than what Bitcoin did. Barely more than what Bitcoin did. Do you want to take the risk on a crypto that has basically lied to everyone? All the cryptos lie to everyone. We've gone through that. Hopes and dreams, total lot of bullshit. I hope everyone can see that now. No, your coin is not more special than the next person. There are no chosen ones in crypto at this point. Bitcoin is the leader. It's the king at the moment. Call me a maxi, whatever. But with all that rant behind me, do you want to take the risk on some other piece of garbage that only got you an extra 4% than buying Bitcoin? I'll leave that up to you. Personally, I would not. I want something a lot more because I'm taking a lot more risk on trading these other shitcoins. The final shitcoin here, which was one of my favorites that I almost married, DOT, 15.8%, call it 16. You can see here, this again was the zone that we were measuring from. There's 13th and the 18th, so that was the zone that we have been measuring all these other strong cryptos here. Look at that, the 19th, there's the 13th, and you can see the move up. DOT, lower lows, lower highs, finally broke, and like we just saw a second ago, it was only about 15 or so percent up. That is not a strong crypto in this crypto pump. Therefore, I want to be on something else. And that's how you see it before it happens and how you can get double the amount of profits. Look at that, 34% on something like Phantom, or what we picked up here, which was Matic, 31%, DOT, only at 15.8%. That's how you can pick it up before it happens, and that's how you make bigger profits than just being a fool and marrying some other crypto which you had loved throughout the bear market or the bull market. That's how you do it. So now that we know how to do it, now we have to look at taking profits. And that's my last piece here that I want to go through, is just how to take profits successfully and avoid FOMO. One really quick, simple thing. is don't sell everything at once. There's no need to sell everything at once, but you should definitely take some profit. So split it up, divide it into fours, divide it into halves or thirds. You have $1,000, sell 330 bucks, then 330 or whatever it is that works in your plan. A lot of people think you just buy everything at once and sell everything at once. It does not have to be that way. You can set different orders. The fees are only in percentages, so it doesn't matter. You're always going to pay the same amount, so don't worry about the fees either. And so in this case, the foolish part here is people buying yesterday. They're buying the peak and then the market has come back against them. So you can see this peak here at 98 cents on Matic. The market has then peaked again today at 98 and then dropped to 88 cents. So they're freaking out because they were down 10% already, and currently at the close they're down 3%. So people were buying on this bar. You can just see that's exactly what happened. If you throw up the volume, then bam, look at that volume, huge volume, everyone's buying at this peak. Now I'm not saying that this is the peak, but that is going to freak out a lot of new traders, new investors, and they might already be underwater because they have too high of a leverage, or they just freak out when as soon as they buy, the market goes against them. That's just the mentality of what happens in the market. So the next step up is $1.03. So I think we'll probably test this level over the coming days, but the market did need to cool off, at least in the short term, because that ran up so hard so fast. You can see how big that bar is. It's the biggest up bar in or on Matic for, I can't even, how many days back? It goes all the way back to February. So July to February is 5 months. It's the biggest up bar that Matic has had in 5 months. It is going to sucker a lot of people in. They're going to get fooled, and they're probably going to lose some money when the trade is possibly going to go on to higher prices. But you have to have a plan and know where your limits are for the downside and for the upside. So if you want to know more about that, definitely check out the Investor Accelerator in the top of the video description. We've got the free newsletter and of course the trading courses as well, so you can learn more, stay safe in the market, understand your probabilities, create your own plan. If you are trading, check out Bybit, $4,450, not this sign-up bonus here. That's in the top of the video description. These trades have been doing very, very well over the last couple of weeks, and being able to tape read, understand what's going on in the market before the news tells us, just like we've been following here with Bitcoin as well. I'm enjoying the commentary on the market rather than just always looking at news pieces or anything like that. Let me know in the comments if you're enjoying more of this commentary style along with the education side of trading and investing, because I enjoy doing it. So I'd love if you guys let me know it down in the comments, like, subscribe. I know it's annoying to ask, but it does help the channel and push it into your news feed so you get to stay updated rather than the typical viewer who would just read the captions and the headlines. So thank you very much guys for joining me here. I'll see you at the next one. Until then, have more fun to get more done, and arrivederci from Italy.